some of the best original IP of the last, 10 years. What drew you to doing a remake?
Well, the way this happened was that Tommy, who's the original director and co-writer of this is a recent remake. This is the film, their film, which is a Norwegian film, came out probably 5 years ago or something like that. And Tommy was on set with my producer of this film, Guy Danella, and Tommy was constantly quoting Hot Rod, Popstar, and they were on the set of Violent Night. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Address this to your iPhone. So obviously he was a fan of our stuff, and so Guy called me up and was like, "Hey, Tommy loves your stuff, and I love Tommy's stuff." And he kind of does action comedy, and I do comedy action. So there was the Venn diagram of that. Was like, oh yeah, we should work together. And then like a week later, Guy was like, "Hey, would you ever want to make a remake?" And I was like, "Fuck no, like absolutely not." And then he was like, "Yeah, just watch the film and read the script." And so I watched the original film. I loved it. It's a very dark film. It is very much the same film. It's like there's some stuff that is like shot for shot, but I love the original. It's and I love the script. And when you're trying to like figure out whether you should do something, I was like, I couldn't get it out of my head. I was like, I really like this, and what can I bring to it that's different? And it really is just like the humor of it. And in his version, which is very much, it's very effective, but it's very emotionally dark. Like he leaves you sitting in very painful situations, and the characters are a little less redeemable. So they're gonna fucking kill each other in the original, and I wanted to make something that felt a little bit more sympathetic. Having Jason and Sam, felt like Jason's such a sympathetic person, and character that he's sort of built over the years, sort of thing. So we kept the structure, we kept there's so many surprising bits. Like the way this movie moves is one of the big draws to me, because I just feel like as moviegoers, we all know how things are supposed to move, and to see something that kind of freaks your brain out, it's like, wait a minute, what? Like this is like the sort of the flashback stuff, and so we kept all that, and then for me as a filmmaker, this is a very long answer.
We're here for it.
Yeah, thanks, thank you. But as a filmmaker, I really liked all these different tones that it has. Like it's drama and it's action, it's violence and it's gore, and it has heart in it. I mean, you're really following their relationship. And so for me, it was like weaving all those tones together, and humor is kind of the thing that does that. Like we're really trying to push the humor as much as we could without it's like bend it to break it to me. Like it's like the humor's coming out of the situation being scary and da-da-da. So it was always like pushing it into that and using humor to then help aid the violence almost, and the violence to aid the humor kind of thing, because it's all about surprise and timing and stuff like that. So anyway, the short answer is I liked the original, and I wanted to see if I could make something that I honestly like as much as the original. And so for me, Tommy fucking loves this movie, and he's very proud of it. So that was for me the biggest, hey, I did a good job. I didn't fuck it up.
I imagine.
And I'm gonna open it up to the audience, but I gotta ask you about the song in the car, the "Fuck Like This" song.
Yeah.
Where this came from?
Okay, so have anyone seen a short that we did on SNL called "When Will the Bass Drop"? Woo! That's good. So God, I just want to run up to your camera. Yeah, when will the bass drop? When will the bass drop? But this EDM track goes super hard, and then the joke being in that, I'm not going to explain the joke, just watch the bass drop. But that's my friend Sam Fishman, Sam F. He is a family friend of mine who got super into EDM stuff. He's fucking dope. Just to be an asshole and use that phrase. But so I knew I want that sequence is very different in the original movie, and I love audio chaos. And so the sequence is so chaotic, and I wanted to have forward movement. So that joke to me, I put that in just being I love when things are off the rails. And so he made four. So that's Karen Gillan's voice saying "fuck like this," who is the blue lady in Guardians of the Galaxy, and also the redhead lady in Jumanji. She's amazing actress.
Doctor.
So yeah, so she's a producer on this film, and I wanted her to do a cameo. Oh yeah, sorry. You want to say it?
She's married to one of the screenwriters.
Yes, she is. She is. Yeah. So I wanted her to do a cameo, and she was like, I can't do the camera thing. She was pregnant at the time, and da. So I was like, can you just say when I party I fuck like this, and be in this song? And so that's her. There's one called Ass, which is you like your ass, you like this ass, and that's Sam. And then the Welcome to Ibiza is Juliette Lewis. I wanted to have everyone in the cast do EDM songs. So that's how that came back. And by the way, we're gonna have a 7-inch and a remix thing too. The remix already has 2 super hot EDM artists. What's his name? Techno Tupac is on it, and you guys know all this stuff, right? Yeah. I do too, because I'm 49 and I know all this stuff. Anyway, yeah, and that's how that came about.
But I'm gonna open it up. Does anybody have any questions? I think we gotta go here first.
Yeah, first I gotta say, Quaid Army.
Oh yes, Righteous Kill. Righteous Kill, Righteous Kill, Righteous Kill. Right.
For anyone who doesn't understand this, I'm not gonna explain it because it's too deep. We have a podcast with Seth Meyers called the Seth Meyers Lonely Island Podcast. And to understand Quaid Army, you would have to listen to 105 episodes of the show. So just don't even bother. Oh yeah, I keep going.
So I guess I wanted to ask, when you were watching the original movie and you were thinking about doing a remake, were you thinking about the cast when you were watching it, or could you just talk about the cast?
Yeah, I mean, it's also scary to do a remake of something you like. Mm-hmm. The acting is amazing, and there's such good acting in the original, so that's scary too, obviously. But then getting Jason, he was like what do you call the center of a wheel? Is a hub? No, it's not a spoke. No, you call it a spoke.
Middle.
The middle of a wheel. Anyway.
The middle.
Axle? See, nobody knows. I feel like I'm not the only one. Anyway, that's what Jason is, right? We got Jason, and then going off of, and I guess Sam's another one of those. This is a bad metaphor. Anyway, but no, Jason was that was part of what I wanted to see. Honestly, I wanted to see something that felt different. There's again, the original is so dark. He's absolutely gonna murder. It's Axel, who's in Sisu. If you saw Sisu, he's the bad guy in Sisu. And Numi, who's incredible. But I really felt like Jason brought this level of sympathy, and we actually we had conversations about it, even where there's dark stuff in this. When he puts a bag on her head, I was really scared of that moment. I was just I just got this we were going into production. I was can we fucking pull that off? And I talked to Jason, and he was like, I have a certain level of expected charm. There's something I built this up over my career. Let's spend it here. We can do it here, and then it will be okay. And we tried to we were always trying to find the humor in those situations. So him being oh, okay, I don't know about this, but he was just the perfect person to bring my version of this, because I'm much more of a, I don't want to see people who are. I wanted to earn that image, the image that starts the film, which is literally verbatim a Verizon commercial that I shot. But the silhouette of the two people in the beginning, I wanted to earn that moment at the end of the matched silhouette of the two, and having somebody like Jason, having Samara, who you do feel it's possible that they were in a real relationship, adding the scenes like the Scrabble scene, which is in the original movie, but I wanted you to see that they could have been what they could have been in that. So it was really calculated. I didn't answer your question at all, but Jason's good, I guess, is the short answer.
I agree.
Yes.
I'm looking on the back, right here in the center. Yeah.
First of all, thank you for the Pig in the Big City reference there.
Oh, sure. You're welcome. You're welcome.
What was the most technically difficult scene to film, and how did you keep it on?
Every time that we do this and somebody speaks, I'm like, why am I using a microphone? That was very clear. Yeah, I would say the most technically difficult sequence was the window break to the round robin of violence that happens and to me it was when I was storyboarding that, it was the trick was, there's a couple tricks. one, lighting is changing, right? So you're going from night to day, and how to do that. So because it's happening in about like 3 shots of like you see Juliet, the gun goes off, like it's lighter in the sky. I literally had to like add a sun in the sky with VFX to do those things. So that's one of the tricks that's happening. The gun is going around the yard in ways that you're like, is that possible? So like Juliet has to hurt her back, and that's one of my favorite lines. He hurt my back. It's just like off screen, but the gun dropping is like very important for where because it keeps happening. You're like, why the fuck is the gun on the so you're always trying to like pick it apart and pull the strings so that you're not. Like if the audience feels like, that's a little, so, and for me too, like I just don't want to see that in movies of like the logic doesn't quite work. So, but there's a lot of violence that happens, and there's a lot of stunt stuff. And also we're shooting in Finland, and the days are like over at 4 p.m. So that's also like the trick of it. That was also the most difficult scene, because in addition to all that and storyboarding all that, figuring all these gags out, the car that we bought, that came as is. We bought that car, and I was like, this is fucking rad. And you're like, yeah, it's super lowered, and you're driving over the things. And even that stick shift, that just came with the car. Because we were like, that's not a joke. Like, it's the car. And so we had this like crazy rally stunt driver who's like badass with all this stuff. And I wanted the car to do a 360 into the yard and smack him and have the guy go flying. And that was going to be done in a series of plate shots. And instead, it just ripped the front bumper off. He couldn't slide it around. It was too muddy, and it was just like it wasn't gonna happen. So we had to look at each other and I'd be like, guys, like it was interesting because the way it happens in the original movie is more how this happens, and I didn't want to do that. But like you're like, maybe this is the reason that they did this. Like this, it was like so we had to just on the day be like, hey, to the stuntman, like, you want to get hit by a car? And then he got hit like 7 times. Because he had to like also bounce off and then fall into the position that Tim needed to be in. So it's like all this shit that you're like fucking hell. Like it's like, but it's also the joy of I love that like on the day kind of shit. I just love hitting people with cars. No, but I love that sort of thing where you have to like think and be like, shit, how are you gonna do this and do that? Anyway.
Over here.
When you're adapting a European story that's like heavier or darker, I think a similar thing might happen with Speaking of Evil. How do you think as a filmmaker where you're approaching American audiences differently than a European audience might? Like in terms of being palatable.
Yeah, I'll repeat that. So just saying, how do you adapt something that's a European dark film to an American audience, and are you like changing it for an American audience? I think I am because I'm American, less so to like appease an American audience. Like I obviously wanted this to have like the teeth of the original, and ours is actually sort of more violent and definitely gorier than the original. But my tone is, again, I wanted the characters to be more sympathetic. And that's not because I was scared of, like, the original is very successful at what it does. I love the original film, but it like leaves you with, like, even like the dinner table scene when they're like giving their gripes about each other. Like, he calls her a bitch and like all this stuff that I'm like, I don't know if you come back from that. Like in the rape scene, again, like it's super successful. It's a dark film. I love the original. But in the like sexual assault scene, like he says like, what does he say? He says like, maybe now you'll be satisfied. And you're like, God damn, this fucking dude is like, so to me, like I was just like, it's not that I was trying to like, I'm making a softer version of it. It's just that I'm a softer person, honestly. Like, and I wanted to see them get back together in a real way, even though they're making a shitty ass movie. Like it's like they deserve each other. They're kind of shitty people. They're making a shitty movie, but like, you're like, yay, good for them. And so to me it was more like that's just my personal preference. You know what I mean? Like but there was things that we also put back into the movie. Like the original draft I read didn't have the sexual assault stuff, and me and Jason, that was the first thing we talked about, was that I really wanted that scene back in because his arc is almost like this. Right? Like it's like he's chosen the mortal sin of like just kill his wife. And so he needs to be broken down to the studs to be like, this is like your lowest point to build yourself back up. And so we wanted that scene back in. which lots of people didn't want. You know, so but it just felt important to me. So like I feel like I made what I wanted to make, but not because it was like, let's make the softer, shittier like American version. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt about it.
Yeah. We have time for one more. I'm gonna go right there.
I'm sorry, I just talked too much.
No, it's
guys.
all good. Okay.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to ask, I haven't seen the original movie, so I wasn't sure if all the deaths are the same, and if they're not, are there any that you changed, again, like for an American audience, or because you just thought a certain death would be funnier, or you wanted to show that?
The only death that is really different, and there's like different things that happen, sort of thing, like but the only death that is really different is Todd doesn't survive. He dies in the kitchen, and in this version he appears again, which again was like the fun of that sequence was just like where is everybody geographically ended up. But Nick and Brian, who wrote this version of this movie, yeah, super fucking funny. Britannic, yeah. Oh yeah, and check out Pizza Movie too. Their directorial debut, really funny, crazy, very crazy, very different than this, very psychedelic. And but yeah, like so that one, I think it's a much funnier death, obviously. Like and but like that, like comedy timing wise, like because I've been asked a lot about like what's the difference between action and comedy and like and horror and comedy, like, and they are very similar in terms of like there's an element of surprise there, and I'm always trying to be a little bit ahead of the audience. So like when the gun's on the ground and he grabs the gun, you're like he's gonna shoot somebody, he's gonna shoot him, but it's happening way quicker than you expect it to. And then one of the bummers about like we see it again kind of thing is that when we shot over green screen watermelon exploding, like for his head, it's just an element. The second time it exploded and the middle of the watermelon popped up and we're like, that looks like his brain. That's amazing. And so like in the background when his brain falls, there's this like kind of gross thud that happens, and it's really funny. It's really, really funny. I was saying like that. What's one of the things to his question about like the softer root? Like, I've had a lot of people, including my mother and my 74-year-old mother and my 79-year-old mother-in-law, who were like laughing hysterically at like really, really violent stuff. And like people who were like, I don't usually enjoy gore, but this is like very, like I could do this because of the humor. And so I think that's part of my thing too, is like because I'm always started going for humor that's just and it does make it more palatable too. So like, you know, like whether that's, you know, I think it's just a personal preference kind of thing. But I am proud like to have people be like, I don't like gore and I love this. So yeah.
We gotta turn the theater over, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. You guys, thank you so much for coming. Really appreciate it. Please tell your friends, April 24th.